wrap up of recap of last week before we go on to this week. I thought our guys played really hard on Saturday. You know, they've been prepping, they've been working. They did just a phenomenal job of kind of staying locked into the process through fall camp. I thought, you know, in fall camp there are days where days can get long. You're competing against your offense day in and day out. And I thought our guys brought energy, they brought focus, a level of detail that was consistent throughout fall camp. And Coach DeBoer said it best to the team the other day: you get what you deserve. And I thought our players got what they deserved on Saturday in terms of their effort and focus, and those things were really good. Our keys to victory: we said we had to swarm tackle. We had to do a great job of these guys. You know, they force you to make space tackles, and I think for the most part we did that. There was a drive where we had a couple missed tackles on some critical third downs, and we got to get those things cleaned up, particularly in some vision coverage where our guys did not have their eyes on the quarterback, and so their feet weren't in the ground to drive on the ball once the ball was thrown. So we'll get those things cleaned up. We had to handle some of the tempo and the formations and all the and goes, and there's a lot of different screens and goes and all that stuff, trick plays. I thought we handled those things well early. We showed that we could handle some of their tempo early and their formations out of tempo early. And then, you know, we really had to play a dominant style of defense up front in particular. And I thought our defensive line against the run, linebackers, safety support did a tremendous job throughout the game. We also were able to affect the quarterback in pass rush. We hit him early in the game, and I think that paid dividends as we started taking the ball away and getting off the field on third downs. And then also, as you got going, we didn't get, a number of sacks as the game went, but I thought we affected him. And I think we had maybe 4 pass breakups, right, coming from the D-line, guys getting their hands on the ball, tip balls in the area as well. I was really proud of our guys and their fight in the red zone. We went on a 22-play drive, which is never fun for a defense, but our guys did a really good job of staying focused during that time, and really, half the battle in the red zone is just finding the will to be able to fight when it matters most, and I thought our guys did that to be able to get a great fourth down stop down there. I thought the 2 takeaways early were positive, but I did not think we capitalized on takeaways as a defense. I thought we had opportunities to score on defense multiple times, and we did not make the most of those opportunities. We also had opportunities in the backfield. Sacks are great, but sack caused fumbles are way better, right, to get the ball back for our offense right there on the spot. So those are things that the guys have really been challenged. I did not think we met the standard of what we're capable of as a defense there. And so I hope to see a response in our players just in terms of their intentionality to take the ball away. Punching, raking at the ball, all those types of things did not show up to the level that I think we're capable of. So we will make that a huge point of emphasis moving on this week. It's critical that our players manage their time well. This is the first actual week, right, of the season where you have a Sunday to a Saturday. There's a finite amount of hours, and there is a finite amount of work that has to be done, and the work is the work. And if you don't stay ahead, all right, you start falling behind on a Tuesday and Wednesday practice, and then that shows up on Saturday. So our guys got to do a tremendous job getting ready for that. Looking ahead to South Florida, I think this is a team that is very well coached. I think they have a great identity in what they do, particularly with their offense. Alex Golish, I've known for a number of years. I think he does a tremendous job. Those guys are very detailed in what they do in the run game. They have a lot of volume in the run game. They do a number of things in terms of finding space in their passing game. They create space with lateral alignments. You're going to see those big wide splits that we've seen over the last couple of years from this style of offense, and then find different windows in the passing game, be it through the drop back play action or through the RPOs. And so we've got our work cut out for us. I think this quarterback is dynamic with his feet. He showed that a year ago to us, that he can extend plays, particularly in passing downs with his feet. And so we've got to do a tremendous job of containing him this week. So it'll be a great challenge for our players and one that we're all looking forward to preparing for. So with that, I'll take questions.
Thanks, Coach. Starting front row here with Chase.
You made a ton of substitutions against Western Kentucky, not just on the DL, which is normal, but the linebackers, the DBs. Did you kind of go into the game with a mindset that you wanted to be able to put some grades on a high number of guys?
Yeah, I think there's different levels of substitution as the game went on. Right, we felt like as we moved into the second half, the game was in hand, and so you certainly want to get some younger players involved in the game. During that time, I think players that showed through fall camp that they could be trusted, that they were what we would call above the line to be able to go in during meaningful snaps in the game. There were players that we knew, younger guys, right, that may make mistakes, but they need to be able to work through those mistakes. And so I think as a staff, it's really important early that you push yourself to be able to get players in games. Because if you don't, right, they can't learn and grow from those experiences as the season goes on, and we're going to need those younger players to continue to elevate their game as the season goes on. They can only do that if they get some reps. So certainly we're going to try to get people in the game, but we're never going to put a player in that has not shown that he is above the line. When you're taking meaningful snaps.
Stay on the right side. Let's go, Charlie, second row.
Yeah, hey, Coach, I want to ask about Quay Rusall. Just what did he show you not only earn the start on Saturday, but play a bunch of snaps?
Yeah, I thought, Quay, so workmanlike in the way he goes about his business. He's not a real vocal guy on the team, but he's a great teammate. Has really kind of leaned into what we're doing from a defensive standpoint with that wolf position. There's a lot of things that we ask that guy to do. He's got to play off the edge. He's got to play in the box as an inside stand-up, kind of move around backward. He's got to drop out in coverage. So there's a lot of things that we're asking that guy to do, and I think Quay is a very well-rounded individual. He's gifted from a physical standpoint in terms of his ability to run. He can make space tackles. He can also set an edge at the point of attack, and so just his versatility, I think, coupled with the way that he was able to handle our scheme and all the things that we were going to try to do against Western Kentucky in particular, I thought he was very impressive in the first game.
All right, front row, Nick.
Yeah, Xavier Brown getting the start. I mean, obviously you guys have spoken well of him all preseason, but what do you see from him in this one? What did he ultimately do to earn that opportunity?
Well, not just Xavier, right, but, a number of those other young players played meaningful snaps in the game, which was impressive. Xavier, I think Maurice Lindquist has done a tremendous job with those young defensive backs and getting those guys prepared. That's a hard transition to make in 8 months, to go from playing high school ball right to playing at this level in college. And so I think those guys were very consistent in their process. They were very detailed. When they made a mistake, they would work to get it fixed. Xavier probably from the start of spring ball all the way through fall camp, I thought was the most consistent in terms of fixing issues as they came, consistent in his fundamentals, his approach every single day, and I thought really he was well deserving to be able to go out there as one of the first 11 to represent our defense. So very proud of the work that he's put into. The challenge to those younger players is they cannot stay the same. They have to continue to elevate their game, their level of focus. One of the great things about it's a great thing, but it's also a challenging thing in terms of setting standards and expectations. Those standards continue to raise as the season goes on, and so those younger players will have to continue to elevate their game in order to compete at the level that we're going to need them to as we maneuver through the season.
All left, Tony.
James Smith seemed pretty disruptive in the middle. What did you see from him, and how much strides has he made heading into his second season?
Yeah, I think James has really taken some great leaps in terms of his consistency and what we're doing, playing within the framework of the scheme. I think coming out of spring football, There was too much inconsistency in his game. We really challenged him in the offseason to live within the framework of the defense. He always is going to make plays. He's a special playmaker. He's got that knack, which is what you want to see, right? Then you just have to build some consistency within those things. And I thought, the level of growth from him in that 3-month window from when we finished 8A to when we came into fall camp, I thought he took really great ownership of that. Freddie Roach did a tremendous job as well in that regard. So very pleased with him. Think he's taking steps in the right direction. And again, when you have a guy like that that's a playmaker, you want to get those type of players on the field.
We have time for just 2 more questions. We'll start with Mike here.
I think the TV broadcast mentioned an injury to Deshaun Jones, and maybe that's why he didn't play as much. Is that true in terms of maybe his hamstring being banged up as they went ahead?
Yeah, Day was battling a little bit this week with a little ding, and so we wanted to be cautious with him, but we felt like there was enough there that he felt good enough on game day that he could go. He had not gotten as many practice reps during the week of preparation, and so we expect him to make a full recovery this week.
Finish up on the left with Steven.
Coach, among those young players, how did you feel like Red Morgan performed when he got out there, especially in coverage, making tackles also?
Yeah, I thought, Red again is another example of those younger player that got out there, took meaningful snaps in the game, right? And really, I thought communicated pretty well for the most part. I thought, from a fundamental standpoint, he was relatively consistent. Those things have to grow, right, as you maneuver throughout the season. But one of the things that is exciting about Red is just he did not play hesitant. He pulled the trigger when he needed to. He played fast, and when you have somebody like Red, he's very bouncy. He's very athletic, right? He's very active. He's got a high motor, and that's the type of player that we need to see as he continues to just build more consistency in his game. So I was pleased with what we saw from him first week.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys. Roll